Welcome to the show, guys. On today's episode, we're going to reinstall my oil cooler. Stay tuned. So obviously you want to start by removing the oil cooler itself, and you can see me doing that in an earlier episode. Here I'm pulling the center cooling section out of the housing, and then you can see here the rubber isolator that is still left in the block, and we'll replace this with a new one. I've got my oil cooler housing all cleaned up. I made sure to get inside here and really clean around the edges. There is a couple of spots inside the seal where it's pitted and the aluminum is actually kind of divoted a little bit, which kind of makes me want to put RTV on there, but I don't think I'm going to do it. To get the cover lined up properly on the block, you're supposed to use an alignment tool to make sure the cover is perfectly straight and aligned with the bore that the pressure relief valve goes into. So I got this one from Cloud Studios because it was the least expensive one I could find. It's made out of plastic. Some of the more expensive ones are made out of metal, but it looked like it would work well. The only thing is I ran into a bit of a problem with my cover. For some reason, the threaded bore that this tool and or the relief valve screws into was not straight. Looking at the threads, they looked okay. There might have been like a burr or something down inside there I couldn't feel, but it was really odd. Using both the tool and the valve itself, when I screwed them in, you can see the end of it kind of wiggling back and forth. Oh, it's the same. Well, that's weird. Either that cover was warped or there was like some sort of a burr in there. I don't know. It was odd because when you look at the threads, they looked fine. So if you're doing this, I would recommend getting a thread chaser that fits this thread size. I didn't have anything, and I decided to just go ahead and put this together and try to make sure everything was lined up and make it work. And I didn't have any problems, but just as a recommendation, in case you run into the same problem as me, you might want to get a thread chaser or a tap to run through there to make sure yours is straight. This was smushed into the block like this. And so when the cooler is in the block, this was basically like that. They did send what looks like rubber seals for this, but I've got to look at it, figure out which one I'm supposed to use, and then I've got 2 new O-rings, I believe, for this. And I guess I'm gonna have to reuse this plastic tab. I don't see a new one anywhere. I'll keep this just in case I need it, because I don't see another one of those in the kit. I didn't specifically get an oil cooler kit. I just got this gasket kit, lower end gasket kit, so I don't know if it has everything I need. So I might end up having to reuse this. I'm not going to spray anything on the inside because I don't want to mix any brake parts cleaner or anything with the oil. Do it carefully without screwing up the aluminum. So I used a pick to remove those O-rings. Just tried to be careful and not put any gouges in the aluminum. Alright, so the side that had was against the block says 8-7. This side they just got the 8, so I'm gonna clean this up. So I decided not to try to clean the inside of the oil cooler. I cleaned the outside really well. I got inside the ridges where those green O-rings sit. That had collected some old crusty oil, so I made sure those were nice and clean, cleaned them out with a brass brush. But the inside, I just left because I didn't have any problems with oil pressure and I didn't want to get any cleaner, any contaminants stuck in there that would get mixed with my oil. So I cleaned the outside really well, made sure there were no debris or no gunk on the outside of the cooler, made sure you could see through there and it was nice and clean, and then got ready to put this thing back together. I found all the O-rings that I needed that came with my gasket kit, and this is the seal for the cover itself. Just in case it helps, here is a diagram that shows all the parts involved and the order in which they go together. My car's naturally aspirated. If you have a turbo, it's just a little bit different. So if you have a turbo, you can find the diagrams online. Auto Atlanta is a really good source for the diagrams. And then I put it on the bench and tried to set this thing up correctly according to the instructions. First, I put that plastic ring on the back side of the cooler and then set it inside the housing. After you get your cooler set up in the housing, then you run a straight edge across the face of the cooler there and measure down to the inside lip where that shim and rubber seal go. And you're supposed to have a total distance of plus or minus 0.25 millimeters. When I measured mine with the shim that was originally in there, I had about a full millimeter's distance. Now I thought the gasket kit would come with extra shims, but it turns out that it didn't. So I had to decide if I was gonna just run it the way it was, or if I was gonna wait and try to order a new shim to make up that difference. You're supposed to measure across the top of here, and there's supposed to be a 0.25 millimeter distance from the top of your straight edge to the top of the cooler. I don't have any more shims. When I measure it, I get about a millimeter distance, but this thing was smushed down to the block, so I think we're gonna be okay here. Otherwise, I would have to go get more shims to raise this up, because with it in here now, it's not 0.25 millimeter, it's about a millimeter. But because this was so smushed in there, like as if, you know, there was not enough space for it, I'm just going to use the new rubber ring there that came with the gasket kit, and I assume it's going to be fine. But according to the book, you're supposed to get whatever shim you need there to raise that surface so it's just 0.25 millimeters lower than the surface of the cooler cover itself. But mine was this way, so I'm just going to leave it this way. Before I put in the oil cooler, I'm going to put in this brace. 17. Put the bolts in the brace first because they're easier to get up there that way. I assume the torque value on these is pretty high. I'll look and see if I can find it really quick. I don't see any specs for these mounts in the book, so just gonna tighten them to what I think is tight. Call it good. Now I've got a special tool for this, and I've got to make sure that the O-ring they sent me for the end of that check valve is correct. It's important to make sure everything is clean on the block side before I put this back on. Made sure all the holes were clean and free of burrs, and scraped off that where that rubber spacer goes just to make sure that was clean. I found the new rubber shim in my gasket kit, and then I decided to put the rubber spacer in the block first. So I used some grease to make sure it would stick in there, and then went ahead and stuck that in the block. Found my new green O-rings, oiled them up so they would slip on easy, and then snapped those into place on both sides of the cooler. Made sure that nylon spacer was snapped in tight, and I put a little oil inside the housing where the one green O-ring slides in, just to make sure that that would slide in well, and then took the cooler and inserted it into the housing. I put a layer of grease on that metal shim so it would stay stuck up against the cooler as I was putting it up against the engine, and then took the new seal and put it in place, make sure it lined up nice, and then took it over to put it in the car. I tried putting it up from the bottom first, but it was a little too awkward, so I went around to the top and then put it in from the top side. You know, obviously you have to be careful when you're doing this to make sure that everything is lined up correctly. And then once you get that green O-ring seated in there, it holds itself a little bit, so then you can start putting the bolts in. I started with the bottom bolts first and then went to the top. And you want to get these down snug but still loose so that the cover can move a little bit. And then the next step is to line it up perfectly so that your oil relief valve goes in there nice and easy. I needed to remove the O-ring from the end of my new style pressure relief valve, so I snapped that off of there, cleaned up the slot that the O-ring goes into, and found an O-ring that I ordered separately earlier, so I decided to use that. Oiled it up and then snapped the new O-ring in place. Let's see if I can get this thing in here. And then put some oil on the valve so it would hopefully slip in there okay. Oh. And a new one of these. And found a new crush washer that luckily came with the gasket kit. Alright. Now, assuming you don't have the problem where I did, where for some reason this thing wouldn't go in there straight, this is where you want to use your alignment tool. You have the cooler bolted on there, but not tight, and then put your alignment tool, thread it all the way in, and then tighten down the 4 bolts that hold the cooler to the side of the block until they're tight. Then unthread the special tool and then put in your oil relief valve. But because I had that problem where, depending on where it was, the tool and or the relief valve didn't seem to be perfectly straight in its bore. I did this with just the pressure valve itself. I tried to make sure that that was in there good without binding, and then ended up tightening it down kind of. I went back and forth between the cover and the pressure relief valve itself until everything was seated and seemed correct. But if you're doing this again, the normal way to do it and the right way to do it is put the cover on so that it's snug, but it can still move around a little bit. Then screw the alignment tool in until it's seated. Then tighten up the 4 bolts that hold the cover to the block. Remove your alignment tool and put in the pressure relief valve. I'm going to use my 1/4 inch torque wrench to torque these cover bolts to 15 foot-pounds, and then I'll use my larger 3/8 torque wrench to do the 33 foot-pounds on the oil relief valve. I started with a long extension, but then to make sure that the torque was more accurate, I went back with a shorter extension and got in there and redid the bolts one more time just to make sure. Then I just torqued the 24 millimeter head on the oil pressure relief valve to 33 foot-pounds. And then we'll put in the, whatchamacallit, oil pressure sensor. Actually, I think first I'm going to try putting on that heat shield, see if I can get that thing on there. The heat shield just has 2 10 millimeter headed bolts. I thought I was, alright, good. Woo! I was like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Late, so the mosquitoes are out. I think that's good. Oil pressure sensor. Clean this with some electronics cleaner. Crush washer crushed to the point where I can't get it off, so I think we'll just reuse it. I'm being attacked by mosquitoes. Freaking biting me while I'm doing this. I was gonna put some Teflon on here. A little nut came off of there. A little single tiny little washer. This is old. I don't know how long I had. I did get some new stuff, but I figured since this stuff still works, I might as well still use it. I'm not gonna put the wires on right now. Well, I guess that's it. Oil cooler installed. Thanks for watching the show, guys. Be sure to check back for new episodes of Project Porsche. See you next time.